And we're back with you to take a look at our market activity as we get set up here on a Tuesday. I'm Marlon Bowling with you. We're talking with Rich Nelson of Allendale Incorporated right now, and he joins us on the phone. All right, Rich, just off the wire here, as I was walking into the studio this morning, I see where USDA has a report of an overnight sale of soybeans, and it's to China for 2017 and 18, and you pegged it. They were on vacation here for a week or two, and immediately they came back.
Definitely good to see as far as this buy. I think a lot of us wanted to see something maybe a little more substantial, maybe something in the 300 to 1 million ton range. So in terms of the sale, great to see. I'm not sure if we're going to get excited here, but like I said, I think we wanted to see just a little bit larger after them being kind of on the sidelines here for a few days.
Oh, come on, Rich. They've been gone for like 2 weeks, right, on the holiday?
That's exactly right. And this is the big prime time to buy U.S. grain. So this is definitely maybe a little disappointing here in the big picture, but hopefully we'll make that up here in the coming weeks.
Well, okay, let's take a look at our overnight trade here and see what the Globex market did do on the grains overnight. On the corn market, boy, you and I were talking right before we came on the air live here. This is such a sleepy market. It's hard to stay awake here the last couple of weeks, the way it seems. December corn up a half overnight, trading at $3.50, and it just seems to keep gravitating toward that $3.50 level per bushel. March up a half at $3.63 1/4 overnight. Soybean trade, we over here on soybeans, we have November now 5.5 higher last night at 9.72 1/4. So it seems to be choppy. It moves a few pennies at a time, but it seems to keep going back and forth here. January 5.5 higher at 9.82 3/4. So a little firmness in the soybean trade overnight. Maybe that is being helped here by some export sales. We don't know yet. Looking at the wheat trade, right now you have your December Chicago wheat showing a last trade that was down about 3/4 cent at 4.35 1/4. All the deferreds about a penny and a half weaker. Kansas City wheat here overnight had December down 1/4 at 4.30 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat had December trading at 6.25 even. That was up 1 3/4. So again, going the other direction. Cotton market overnight had that December new crop contract 58 points higher, 70 points higher at 69.65. I notice it moved up to the top row now, 70 higher at 69.65. So kind of inching up toward that 70-cent level once again. All right, Rich, we got the big reports coming out later on this week on Thursday. That'll be the crop production and supply and demand reports. Give us the key numbers that you're going to be watching. Is it going to be yields or what?
I think in the trades mindset, probably the yield will be the biggest headline issue here for them. And of secondary importance will be their other changes on ending stocks. In terms of the current discussion, I don't think anybody has any real expectation of a major change in yields at this point from USDA's numbers in September. So as it stands right now, we would suggest yields number 1, ending stocks number 2, and maybe a third focus might be any changes that USDA gives us for the South American numbers, Brazil and Argentina as well.
So I'm hearing analysts are looking for maybe a 1 or 2 tenths of a bushel gain, or an increase, I should say, from last month from USDA. What would it take to really shock the market, in your opinion? How much higher or lower?
I think right now, anything more than a bushel probably would be a little bit of a surprise here for us. A lot of people pointing out that this crop certainly has matured, relatively quickly with this recent period of dry weather we've had in a good chunk of the Midwest. So as it stands right now, I think this is a big question mark for us in terms of what's actually out there. One of the things we have right now is a lot of yield reports suggesting better than expected yields here for the most part. So I think at this point, maybe a bushel swing either way would be the market moving effect that a lot of people are wondering about here.
Okay, we'll be watching for that. Rich, thanks for the comments. Appreciate it very much. Rich Nelson of Allendale Incorporated. We'll be back in just a moment talking livestock when we come back. Rich, and my Google Assist window popped up, and it had everything I was saying to Rich on there, and it says, "How may I help?" And they had Rich Nelson and all that stuff on there. It's like, I didn't say, "Hey, Google," or anything like that. That was weird.
Interpreting you.
Ed, are you there?
You bet. How about you? How you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging